Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Knicks Deli Edition back in the building. Big win last night, y'all. I had to hop on here and talk about it a little bit because last night was one of those games that tell you who your team really is at this point. There was no Karl-Anthony Towns last night. There was no ShamWow last night. A couple of rotation dudes, they were in street clothes. But on the other side, you got Orlando. We talk about them all the time. They're young, they're a physical, long team at every position. They're a team that loves to punk you on the glass and in the paint. And last night, the Knicks was just like, nah, son, y'all wildin'. We got something for that. And the final score, Knicks 106, Magic 100. It was a groundhouse win. It was nothing cute. It was just grown men playing basketball at MSG. This is the kind of night where identities show up. And we talked about that in my last video. Defense, rebounding, your star guard not getting caught up, your star guard letting loose, the role players actually stepping up. Come on, man. We had all of that, and I talked about all of that. So let's look at it through Knicks Deli's eyes. Who's the bacon of the game? That's got to be, once again, I'm telling you, the bacon is Brunson. 30 points, 9 assists. The man was 10 of 23 from the field, 9 of 12 from free throw. He had 2 turnovers. He played 37 minutes. Your bacon always got to be the one cooking when everything else is on the plate looking shaky. But Jalen Brunson was the bacon tonight. The jumper wasn't even at his sharpest, y'all. He was 1 of 7 from 3. But that's what makes the performance even nastier, because he still found a way to get 30 and still control the game. This was one of those Brunson looking at the team and saying, get out of the way. I got us. It was that type of leader type of game. I'll live at the free throw line if I have to. I don't care that cat is at the end of the bench in a hoodie. We're not dropping this one. That was his mentality last night. And every time Orlando tried to push back, whether it's a Banchero drive, whether it was Suggs had his little burst or a little run from their guards, Brunson responded like he should. Mid-range pull-up, crafty drive with that offhand scoop, or simply a calm pick and roll where he found the roller, the wing, or just snakes back into his own shot. And I don't even want to talk about the 9 assists. That's our captain. That's our captain understanding his assignment. If there's no cat, that means the margin for error shrinks. You can't just spam your own shot. You have to stabilize everyone else as well. And he did it. He did it without forcing, without panicking, and without turning the ball over. Just steady star work, just steady superstar work. Brunson is our engine. On a night like this, he was also the steering wheel, the brakes, the pedal, the bumper, all of that. So that's why he gets our bacon here in Knicks Deli, baby. Round of applause for Brunson. Who gets the egg? That has to be OG, baby. Stat line, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 8 of 14 from field goal, 5 of 7 from 3, 3 steals, plus 20. If Brunson is your bacon, OG Anunoby is that fried egg that hits the pan and lets you know breakfast is serious today. I'm hungry, damn it. This man is why Knicks fans roll their eyes at the Giannis trade rumors that start with, so you'd include OG, right? Absolutely not. Tonight was the full 2-way OG package. 5 of 7 from deep. That's not just spacing, that's punishment, y'all. 21 points on efficient shooting. 7 boards from the wing. 3 steals and at least a dozen possessions where he just erased somebody's option. That's what OG brings. That's why we're good, because when he was out, we were still winning. Whenever the Magic looked like they might start feeling themselves, OG hit them with one of these 3 things. Either a clean catch and shoot 3 that just silenced the crowd, or stopped their momentum that would silence the crowd. We were in OG. We were in MSG. A strong drive where his strength just overwhelmed their wing defenders, or that man came through with the straight up possession theft, jumping the passing lane, stripping the handle. Y'all saw that strip he had? Making someone think twice about even looking at the rim. That's what he brings. That's why we call him defensive demon. And the plus minus tells the story. He was plus 20. When OG was on the floor, Orlando's offense looked less sure of itself. That's star level of impact without hijacking the offense. So my egg goes to OG because with no Cat, his shot making, his wing defense became absolutely non-negotiable. He delivered like a true co-star should. And I'm proud of him for him, and I'm happy that he's on our team for that. Who gets the cheese? Lionheart, baby. Come on, man. This Cat, man. 17 points, 12 rebounds, 3 of 17 from field goal, 3 of 5 from 3. He had 3 assists. One was to Mitchell Robinson with his baby. You know when the cheese is good, it holds the whole sandwich together, right? That's Josh Hart. Lionheart gave you 17 and 12. And somehow that still undersells his impact. 12 rebounds from the forward spot, including keyboards that killed Orlando's second chance dreams. He also hit 3 of 5 from 3, which is a nightmare for a defense that wants to sag off of him and clog the paint. His shooting is much better, wouldn't you say? He also added 2 steals and a block, flying around as the chaos agent we know he is. Yo, his game is crazy. The beauty of Hart's game tonight, though, is that he didn't need a ton of plays run for him. He just injected energy as he does, sprinting into transition off long rebounds. The man was attacking gaps when the defense tilted towards Brunson or OG. He was also hitting timely threes to punish lazy closeouts. That's what separates us. And on a night where some of the guards, Deuce went out a little bit with an injury, Clarkson struggled to find their shot, Hart's mix of scoring and rebounding and his grit became even more important. Hart as my cheese is perfect. The man filled all the gaps, pause. He brought all the flavors together and he made sure that this win, was right for the sandwich. So who gets the dollar slice? Yo, step up, Ariel Hukporti. Step up, Hulkamania. 6.7 rebounds, 4-4 from free throw, 3 blocks in 22 minutes. That doesn't tell the story. Tonight's dollar slice has to go to Ariel Hukporti. The box score doesn't scream headline, but the impact, bruh, we all felt it. No Cat meant every minute from the backup 5 was going to have to matter. Hukporti stepped in and said, nah. I got some of this Mitch energy too. 7 rebounds in 22 minutes. 3 blocks and a bunch more altered shots where Orlando's drivers realized that the paint was no longer safe. The man went 4 from 4 from free throw line, which is sneaky huge for a young big in a tight, low-scoring game. He played within himself. The man had hard rolls, he had firm screens, he protected the rim, he finished plays and hit his free throws. That's exactly what you want from a developmental big in real NBA minutes. The dollar slice here at Knicks Deli is all about cheap value and big return. Hukporti was absolutely that last night. He gave the Knicks meaningful minutes in a game where the margin for error was thin. We had to send a message by getting this win. Next up on the menu is the Knickstrami of the game. And that goes to the third and the fourth quarter. Our defensive chokehold on them dudes. We got to talk about this collective stretch where this game was really won. Because we had to bring some of the starters back in. You could feel a turning point in that late third into the early fourth window. Orlando kept hanging around, living at that 4 to 6 point deficit. Every time it looked like we might pull away the Magic, they would, get a Banchero drive. You know what I mean? They get a Suggs jumper or a second chance putback. They just wouldn't go away. Then our defense collectively started tightening the screws on Ash. On one side, you've got OG disrupting everything on the wing. Then you got Hart flying in from the weak side to finish possessions on the glass. Then you got my guy money-making Mitch and Hukporti contesting everything at the rim. Then you got Bridges using his length to bother passing lanes and stunt drives. Then you got my guy Brunson, once again, handling the ball pressure and making the right reads on the other end. Next thing you know, Orlando is taking tougher three-point shots. Now you start seeing them, their youth is coming through. They're hesitating on drives. They're settling late in the shot clock. They're missing free throws. They end up at 66% from the line last night. Meanwhile, the Knicks in that veteran poise were calmly stacking. Brunson is hitting his free throws. OG's threes. Hart putbacks. Just enough bench contribution, yes, Yabusele, to keep that cushion. That team defensively, when we force the Magic into choppy, inefficient possessions, that's your Knickstrami of the game. It wasn't one guy. It was our system that was working, even when we were shorthanded. He a custodian. 6 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. All of that in 24 minutes. The Arizona Iced Tea is that hard hat, blue collar award, and Mitch is getting that tonight. We didn't have Cap once again, so there was no extra big scoring safety net. This game screamed, Mitch, we need you to control the glass, bro. We need you to control that paint, bro, and be cool about it. And he did exactly that. He pulled down 13 rebounds in 24 minutes, including the usual crowd of offensive and defensive boards that suffocate opponents' runs. They hate seeing him coming. A block here, a strip there, all those little moments where the Magic possession turned into a nah, not on my watch. That was Mitch's stories last night. He moved his feet well enough in space to not get exposed by smaller players. That's been a little bit of a hiccup. And he still anchored the back line for us. He didn't need double-digit points to impose his will. His presence was the value. The Magic bigs looked uncomfortable at all last night. The guards driving in had to have second thoughts. The Knicks could trust that missed shots didn't automatically equal second shots for Orlando. That steady, unflashy, essential impact, that's Arizona Iced Tea to a T. And that was Mitchell Robinson, so shout out to that cat. Now who gets our nah son, nah you Wildin Moment of the game? Living and dying by the brick. We gotta be honest here. The nah son, nah you Wildin Moment of the game last night was that little stretch where we fell in love with the three. Even though the basketball gods were sending clear nah, not tonight energy to us. McCall Bridges 0 for 4 from 3. Deuce McBride 0 for 5. Jordan Clarkson, my guy Grand Central C, 0 for 4 from 3. That's 0 for 13 from behind the arc between those three alone. Nah, son, nah. Stop shooting. There was a stretch where Deuce passed up a drive and he pulled up a contested 3. Grand Central C comes down, takes a quick trigger, early 3, early in the shot clock. Bridges misses another rhythm 3 off of a decent look. And suddenly the Magic are right back in the game, cutting into our lead because long rebounds turn into runouts. So the nah son nah isn't aimed at one dude. It's at the collective shot selection during that window. When the jumper isn't falling, this team is at its best when Brunson is attacking the mid-range and the paint. The team is at its best when Hart is slashing and pushing in transition. The team is at its best when our bigs are getting touches off rolls and offensive rebounds. They eventually correct course, but that little love affair with the brick had all of us yelling at the TV. Nah, y'all wildin' right now. Stop shooting them damn threes. But I was happy that we walked out there and really got out with a strong win. What was the minutes distribution looking like? Let's break down how Coach Mike Brown handed out these minutes. Brunson had 37. Bridges had 34. Hart had 33. OG had 27. Hukporti 22. Deuce 21. Clarkson 17. Yabu got 10 minutes. Kolak 8. And the rest under 2 minutes. That was like garbage time sprinkles. But there was a few takeaways that I'll take away as well. We had that double center energy last night. So splitting the 5 between Mitch and Hukporti for almost 47 of those minutes combined, that gave us a consistent defensive backbone with no Cat. Brown clearly trusted the bigs to anchor everything and punish Orlando's reluctance to get physical inside for a full 48 minutes. Then, of course, we had our wing core, the identity. Look at this trio. We had Hart, OG, and Bridges all back, all over 27 minutes, all tasked with guarding multiple positions, rebounding, and hitting just enough shots. Brown is leaning into the switchable physical wing identity this roster's built around. And then next, we have Brunson. He carried, but he wasn't reckless. Cat played almost 33 minutes, but it wasn't reckless. It was a low-scoring game without your stretch big, so that's the correct slider. Brown didn't run him to 41 to 42, but he trusted him enough to close every important stretch. So I like how he's paying close attention to that. Then we had bench peaks, not overreactions. Yabusele got 10 good minutes. He hit 2 big threes, then Brown didn't force overuse. Clarkson had a rough shooting night, but still got 17 minutes to see if he could pop. Deuce's offense was off, but his defense kept him playable at 21 minutes. So it's one of those nights where the rotation felt philosophical, not experimental. Brown knew that the backbone, Brunson, the wings, the centers, that's what he was rolling with. And then he sprinkled in some bench pieces where it made sense. So that was the seasoning that he put on there. Okay? So my takeaway is this, y'all. Great win. It was identity over names last night. This is what it looks like when a team's identity is stronger than its injury report. There is an expectation for winning. You didn't have Karl-Anthony Towns. You didn't have Landry Shamet. There were some shooters that struggled, some bench pieces that bricked, and you still held the talented Orlando team to 38% shooting from the field, 28% from three, dominated the glass 52 to 48, got 30 and 9 from your star, got elite two-way impact from your defensive demon, got bully ball hustle and scoring from Hart, got center production by committee from Mitch and Hukporti. That's not a fluke, y'all. You're looking at our structure. If the Knicks are winning games like this without Big Purr, what happens when he's back? Spacing the floor, forcing our mismatches, giving Brunson another reliable scoring partner, letting Hart, Bridges, OG exist even as more play finishers instead of play creators. What are we talking about, y'all? They can't guard us. This is an offense that looks like a problem, and the defense stays constant. This wasn't a highlight reel blowout for us. This was a resume win for a team trying to prove it's not just fun, but yo, we for real. It's another example of the league seeing that, yo, we could beat you many ways. But what do you say, Knicks fans? Wanted to hop on here real quick. Great game. Time to get another win in Toronto. Let's get this cup win, baby. What say you? Keep this in mind. Same thing applies to life. That applies to this team. There's no struggle. There's no progress. But also remember this. Whether it's out there in the real world or here in these YouTube streets, here in Knicks Deli, baby. That means your boy Shia. And I'm out. Peace.